Okay, here we go again. Take two. I'm Karen Grant, and I want to welcome you to our Expert Essential Educators Call. This is a call that we do every Tuesday at 4:30 to 5:30 Mountain Standard Time, which is Pacific time for those who are in California or Arizona. And we have a group of about 56 Joy coaches, women from all over the country. And we call this our Pink Umbrella Call, in that we are sharing products and expertise from other educators, people who have had experiences with their product, who have developed or designed things, inventions, science that can help us in our health and wellness advocacy that we are sharing with our clients and our customers, and those that we are working for to help them to bring a wider spectrum of knowledge and information. So we are so grateful. Through my husband, Dell, and here he is. Say hi, Dell. Through my husband, I have met a wonderful couple, but I just feel like I've known them all my life. I love Jeff and Judy. We'll get to see them when we go down to Arizona. They're Dell's dear friends, but now I consider them like my dear friends too. And through them, I love to go to their house. We sit around their table. We muscle test for everything. and they have really shared some information with me that has really piqued my interest. I am devoted to the rest of my days here upon planet Earth to learn everything I can about health and wellness, and anything that can make somebody's journey more comfortable, spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally, socially, and even to learn about, keep an open mind for those products that can bless and benefit. So when Jeff and Judy shared with us the last time we sat at their round table, they shared with us about Dr. Copeland and his 15 years of research on the product called Bliss. And I'm going to let Jeff do a further, deeper introduction. And then with Chanelle, who is going to be speaking to us today on Love Your Gut. And I am very, very open to all this information, because I do know that our stomach is our second brain, so to speak, and that through that area of our body, we produce serotonin and dopamine. And if we don't have that, we can be prone to depression. And so for me, I am just so excited to be here and learn from these experts today on this call. You will see that we'll have some others who will be getting on the call. We have Linda Hart from Daybreak, Utah. We have Nona Brown in Plain City, Utah. We have Saida from Santee, California. And then we have other women that will be watching this recording. We have Julie McClaws from Mesa and Jody Fitzgerald from Spanish Fork. And let me see. We have Chanelle, and we have Dawn. And so we're just happy that you're here. And Jeff, would you like to introduce whoever you would like to go first? Because we have two guest speakers today. Nona is recording this call. We will send it on to all of you to share with all those you love and whose health and wellness you care about. So take it away. Just a second, Jeff. I've got to unmute you. There you go.
There we go. Thanks. Hey, we're really excited to be here, and very, very excited to be able to introduce Chanelle and Dr. Donald Copeland. We're going to let Chanelle talk here first in just a second. And I think Chanelle may want to use a PowerPoint when she's showing people some of the products, have to do with Love Your Gut. But I'll just, Judy and I just want to talk briefly for a couple minutes and tell you about our experience over the last 16 months with these amazing Avisae products. I will tell you that I think the way to summarize my experience, I'll let Judy talk, is that 16 months ago when we started using the products, I was taking 8 prescription drugs, have been taking some of them for years and years and years, having to do with helping me sleep, ending skin itching, helping with acid reflux, asthma issues, allergy issues, 8 prescription medications. And within 60 days of using the Avisae products, I was able to discontinue using all of my prescription drugs. Now, it's kind of hard to not get kind of giddy about that and promote it and get excited about it. So we're constantly talking to people about the amazing products. But we have, when I think it was about a year ago, May, when Love Your Gut came onto the scene and Bliss, and we heard Dr. Copeland from Stage speaking about Bliss and his years of research, and that went into developing it and his reasons for developing it. And I just remember looking around at some friends of mine as we were watching him and listening to him talk and thinking our jaws kind of hit the ground, and it was like, wow, there's actually a product that can do that. So what I can tell you is we feel a lot better. I've gone through 2 allergy seasons, haven't had any of the kinds of issues I've had for years. My sleep I sleep for 7-8 hours a night typically, and my REM sleep has increased. I remember my dreams. I don't know what age I started not remembering my dreams, but I would say probably in my late 20s or 30s, I quit remembering my dreams. Now I dream every night very vividly. I remember those dreams, and I feel more rested during the day. My mood and my emotions are just, much, much better than they used to be. The day it helps me deal with work issues and all kinds of issues as I get through the day. So we love Bliss. And Karen, you told me a story, I think it was with your grandson you tried Bliss on or used Bliss with, and it had a noticeable effect pretty quick.
Oh, and I will tell you that this little boy he has Tigger energy from Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh, and he is Tigger, and he is bouncing off the walls. And when he stayed with us for a week in St. George, I squirted Bliss when nobody was watching. I kept going, twice a day. Hey, Kalai, you ready for some Bliss? And he would just nod, and he would have that Bliss. And I've never seen him be so responsible and loving. He's 7 years old. Well, this week we came back home again, and my Bliss, my whole entire bottle of Bliss, the lid, I did not, somehow got unscrewed in my purse, and the thing leaked out. I got to use it on Kalai, and it's gone, my whole bottle. But I couldn't use it on him, and this morning he was back to Tigger, bouncing off the walls. So I will tell you that stuff, I'm so excited to hear from Dr. Copeland and hear all about it, because I know that there wasn't there. There was a completely noticeable difference.
Yeah. There's been a noticeable difference for us. So Judy, you want to talk a little bit about the products and how they've impacted you real quick?
Yeah, I'm going to try to make it really short, but I've been someone who was blessed with all of the joints in my body hurting since I was about 7, and nobody ever could diagnose anything or help me. So it was a long time up to my 50s when I finally just really started trying to figure out what was wrong with me, and I did that. In my middle 50s, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto thyroid, and so blessed with autoimmune disease. I know I'm not the only one probably watching this that knows a little bit about that. But I started on a search to try to make the quality of my life better. I didn't want to go into my 70s. I thought I was going to be in a wheelchair, and I did walk my dog with a walker and stuff like that for a long time because I just couldn't trust joints. And I was in pain. I lived on 800 to 2,800 milligrams of ibuprofen for quite a long time just to function. That's just not the way you want to go through your life. So anyhow, to make a really long story short, I did a lot of research. If any of you have researched any of that and have tried supplements and tried all kinds of things, it's very expensive. It takes a long time, and it can be really disappointing. But I did that for many years. And finally, I went to a doctor who specialized in leaky gut and autoimmune disease. It was very expensive, and I would come home with tables full of bottles of supplements to take. And a few things changed for me, but it was really prohibitive in terms of being able to keep up with it. We got introduced to this by some friends, and wasn't necessarily very interested in the products. It was for other reasons that we initially got in. But if you can imagine, I've been asking for help for a long time. And when I got in and I started looking at the products and reading the right papers, sorry, I get really emotional about this.
Start leaking.
This little gal on the light, I am a leaker.
She's a leaker.
So it's not just my gut that was leaky, but I leak from my eyes too. But anyhow, when I met Chanelle and when I started finding out about the products, I found that this has taken a direction to work on your gut, which, as Karen said earlier, is like your second brain, and where a lot of autoimmune diseases and chronic illness starts. And so by taking the few things that we have and using them regularly, my blood tests in November showed that I no longer have autoimmune disease, and I've not taken even thyroid for 9 months. And I don't have any anymore. But at 72, I'm now riding a scooter and swimming for exercise and riding my bike. And our lives are incredibly changed by the products. And one of my very favorite products, which Dr. Copeland is going to talk about, has changed my life also, but because of how it's helped Jeff. So we're getting help all over the place, and we're just so excited to have more people hear about these incredible products.
Yeah, so really, without further ado, because I really want you guys to hear mainly from two of the people that we just hold in high regard, because they, Chanelle Jepson, who, I don't know if I have your title right, Chanelle, but head of product development, I think, for Avisae. There may be more to her title, but Chanelle, we just totally fall in love with Chanelle and have so much respect for her and what she has done with this company, Avisae, in helping them design products to help people the way we've been talking about. So I want you to hear from her. So without further ado, you have to take Chanelle off of mute because she's on mute right now, and have to turn her, give her host control potentially. So if she wants to show a PowerPoint, she can do that. So whoever is in control of that, if you could do that, that'd be great.
Yep, and I've got her, and I've got her unmuted as well. Just a second.
Okay.
And
she's raring to go, I can tell it. She's just kind of letting it go.
I want everybody to know that Judy's story is phenomenal. Yep, we're actually, I cannot unmute her. Chanelle, you're going to have to unmute yourself. For some reason, it is. There you go.
There we go.
Thank you.
Okay,
There you go.
hi everybody. I'm Chanelle Jepson, and I am the VP of Product Development for Avisae. And then I have staffed other experts like Dr. Copeland, who helps make up my team with Avisae. A little bit about myself. I am a functional food chemist. So I've been doing this for about a decade now, and I got a degree in functional food chemistry. I also got a degree in nutrition, and then I went on to get a degree in online marketing with an emphasis on medical writing. I have been very passionate about autoimmune disorders. I myself suffered through a really bad health. I was about 50 pounds heavier than I am today, had cystic acne, and part of my autoimmune condition is that I would pass out all the time. And doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I went to 6 different experts. I went through every kind of CAT scan, everything. At the time, I was a business major. I do have business, but as I struggled with my own health and doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, I kind of went on a holistic health journey to figure out my own body. And today I live completely symptom-free. I'm on 0 medications. Like I said, I've lost 50 pounds. I feel like I look younger now than I did in my 20s and when I was in college. And so I'm a huge advocate for holistic health and really for preventative medicine. So part of what I've been doing is I'm specialized in
Guys, I think we may need to mute some more people because we're getting a lot of background noise.
Yes, let me do that. If you can't mute yourself, we've just got like some wind chill factor sounds. So make sure you've got your mute on, okay?
It's the 801.
Yeah.
Are we good now?
I think so. I'm not hearing any background noise anyway.
That's good.
Okay. So to go on, and so for what I have done previous to Avisae is I trained medical clinics. So I trained ND or NDs and NDs.
Okay, Chanelle, we're having some hard time hearing you.
I keep hearing dinging.
Yeah.
Those are people joining the
That's because
the meeting.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So
Yes.
for the last, so outside of college, I started training medical professionals on autoimmune disorders. I've put probably over 2,000 people on autoimmune programs, anything from fibromyalgia to Candida to hormone imbalances to thyroid malfunctions, sleep apnea, you name it. I've helped people do that. And what we've realized over a lot of studies, I was part of a few studies at the University of Vermont, and one of the things we found was that really all health does start in the gut. What we would do is we would test it on mice, and how we would do it is you had to have a mouse that was bacteria free, and so you have to perform a C-section instead of having the mouse be born vaginally. That would have no bacteria. And that was really important to figure out what probiotics really did. And it's been really fascinating in my professional career to see how much advancements we've had in probiotics. They're very difficult because once they hit oxygen, they die. So, which has made testing for very difficult. So I'm going to share a little bit about kind of some of the hurdles that we've been able to overcome researching probiotics, but then especially with
Chanelle, excuse me 1 second. I'm sorry, Chanelle. When people are joining, there's a lot of background noise. So I don't know, there should be on the participant list, whoever controls that, whoever the host is, should be able to hit.
That is me. I'm the one in control here. But when I go to click on them, this is abnormal. It's not letting me click on the mute. So if you could please, everybody mute yourself. It's really over here. Chanelle is not coming through clearly. It's kind of cutting in and out here in Utah. I don't know if it's doing that for everybody. So Chanelle, I'm sorry to ask you, but if what you're saying is so important, we want to hear every word. So please continue talking and just maybe talk up a little bit louder. And then if everybody will just check your mute, it's not letting me mute you, so you're going to have to mute yourself. Okay. Continue, Chanelle.
412 number. Can you please mute yourself?
Yeah, 412. Okay.
Hey.
Okay, Chanelle.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really good now.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I'm going to go through, and I don't have much time, and there is so much information. If you saw my office, I have bookshelves of all of the medical trials that we've had done on every single one of our probiotic strains, whether it's from a woman who is pregnant to nursing to children with colic or diarrhea or everything. Like we have so much. So I'm going to try so hard to make this nice and brief for everybody, but I'm sorry if I go a little over because it's a lot of products. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
There she is.
Okay, so I always go through these, especially for people who don't quite understand how severe this issue is with gastrointestinal health. There are 70 million Americans who suffer from digestive diseases every year. Who has heard of GERD before?
Me.
I'm just going to probably breeze through this instead of asking questions like I normally do. But gastroesophageal reflux disease, there are actually 64.6 million prescriptions every single year on this digestive disease alone. Gastroesophageal reflux disease is just kind of like acid reflux. I was just at Costco the other day going down the aisle, and there are entire aisles of like Pepcid and Tums and all sorts of issues for acid reflux. It's actually the top sold over-the-counter medication in the United States.
Wow.
With us not being able to break down our food properly and not having the right amount of good bacteria, the right amount of your good bacteria can also produce digestive enzymes. You don't have enough digestive enzymes to break down your food. People are struggling with deficiencies. In the United States, we are considered the most overfed and malnutritioned country in the entire world, which I think is fascinating because our doctors take what's called the Hippocratic Oath, which is named after Hippocrates, the father of medicine. But the father of medicine also said, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. And we've kind of gone away from that. And so holistic medicine is all about how to prevent, but then also restore bodily functions that you don't necessarily need to go have surgery or get a medication for. I'm not saying that Western and Eastern, they have their place together. Like, if you get your arm cut off, don't call me. There's not much I can do with microbiome. So there are definitely places for doctors, but then there's also a place for preventative medicine, and that is where Avisae comes in helping you have a protocol to really have a full system for preventative health. So with these deficiencies, we're finding that 50% of the United States is deficient in vitamin D, which is very crazy because back when I was in college, they actually said that we had too much vitamin D. But we found that we are actually significantly deficient in vitamin D. Fun fact is male pattern baldness has been linked to a vitamin D deficiency, which I think is interesting. But when we look at vitamin D is most commonly known as the supplement that helps with happiness. It helps you to not be obese. It helps with your bones, all of those different things, and your immune system. So if you're deficient in vitamin D, then chances are you're obese, you have bone issues, you're sad, and you have poor immune function. When we look at the United States, I would dare say that, there is actually 50% of the population who suffer from any one of these things. They're showing now that 1 in every 3 people are obese. The next one is B12. Working in training the medical industry, a lot of times what doctors would do in order to help somebody with vitamin B12 deficiency is they wouldn't go back to figuring out why the person is deficient in vitamin B12. What they would do is they would try to supplement B12. Which is a little bit different than what we do here. We do want to give the body B12, but what these doctors would do is we called it the Red Devil shot, and it is a bright red B12 shot that people would come in once a week, once a month to get a B12 shot. If you know anything about B12, you know that it is a water-soluble vitamin, meaning because it's water-soluble, it flushes out of your system every 24 hours. So if you get a shot for the entire month, it's not going to work the entire month. It's only going to work one day, which means you're still deficient in B12 all of the other 29, 30 days out of the month. And so what we're going to talk about today is how you can help your body actually absorb B12. B12 is known as the energy vitamin. It also helps with memory, mood swings, muscle weakness, and apathy, which is kind of that feeling of just not caring. Those are very lackluster people. 60 to 80% of the immune system is located in the gut. This is that there are 25 different diseases and syndromes that have been linked to a bacterial deficiency. I'm going to talk a little bit more about these, but all of these trials have said that Alzheimer's, depression, and rheumatism have all been linked to a bacterial imbalance. There is new research as of this month showing a link to autism and bacterial deficiencies. This just says that the most sold over-the-counter drug is your antacids and things like that. There are 66 million cases of heartburn each year. There are 22 million work loss days due to chronic indigestion. There are 45 million hospitalizations due to indigestion, and there are 191,311 total deaths due to digestive diseases every year. Some issues that we're going to have when you aren't digesting your food, you're going to have skin issues because your skin is your largest eliminatory organ. So you're going to have eczema or wrinkles or psoriasis or acne. And so that was one of the things that I struggled with, was acne. And it was completely linked to my gut. 95% of the body's serotonin is located in the gut. Your gut is directly correlated with your brain. It's actually connected by what's called the vagus nerve, or the vagus nerve. And so the vagus nerve is what your gut can send messages to your brain through this nerve. What's really fascinating is 95% of the body's serotonin. Serotonin is the neurotransmitter that makes you happy. It helps to increase your libido. It helps you to sleep. It produces all of those, or that helps to provide all of those different benefits just through serotonin. And 95%, that's a huge number. 95% is produced in your gut. So if you have poor gut health, you also have poor mental health. They show that 98% of men who suffer from irritable bowel syndrome also suffer from depression. They call your gut your second brain. It actually sends out more neurotransmitters like serotonin, like dopamine, than your brain does. This says that there's 360 times more microbes than human cells, which we'll talk about. And then this is just a collection of all of those together in one little sheet. So that is where Love Your Gut comes in. This is the first systematic approach to gut health. This is something for the consumer to be able to pick up and really understand how it works. We actually have a whole protocol sheet. I don't know, can you guys see my face too?
Yes.
Okay.
That's one.
Okay, I talk with my hands a lot, I just realized. Okay, so this is the protocol. This is what they're gonna be doing every single day. And so it's really easy to understand. And that's the thing, is I recognize when I trained people in the medical industry, it was very expensive to go in, and one, you have to pay a doctor every time you go in, which can be expensive. You have all of the fees, and then you have product costs. Inside of those product costs is a storefront cost. One of my largest clients was back at East in Connecticut. He had 3 clinics, and it was really successful. But one of the things that we found was it was really difficult to get people to stay really true to the regimen. The people who did, though, the first thing they wanted to do was turn around and preach to the world. But what's really cool is how much technology has advanced since my very first probiotic formulation. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about is finally, we're just understanding, we have 100 trillion bacteria. You are 90% bacteria and only 10% human, which is really cool, which we'll talk a little bit about. But with that, we have the ability to manipulate 90% of our genes. So that is where preventative medicine comes in. And that's what Love Your Gut is. Okay, real quick. Oh, here it is. Okay, so say we're going into the gastrointestinal tract. I'm going to talk about the first product I'm going to talk about. I'm going to actually probably breeze through the majority of the products. I'll let Dr. Copeland talk about Bliss. I'm going to mainly talk about our probiotics, but I do real quick want to talk about our newest product, which is Repair Plus. So say this is like your this is your GI tract. So when people think of the outside, like I have to protect my body from outside invaders, what most people fail to recognize is that your GI tract, so like your mouth, down your esophagus, right, stomach, all of those things, that is also considered your outside because you're breathing in your lungs, that's outside, but then also all of the food and everything that's going down, you actually have to protect your body, which is your blood and your heart and all your organs, from the things that you're consuming and any sort of toxins or anything that might happen here. So the white part of the screen is actually your second outside. These mucosal membranes, which are the pink part, they are what's protecting your bloodstream and all of your organs from any invaders that might have made it into your mouth. If you're going out to eat, chances are you have invaders that are going down your throat. That's just the way it is. So these membranes are what are going to protect it. So then we have above here, I wish I could point, but you guys can't tell where I'm pointing. So you have the little angry bacteria. Some of those are happy. I'm not saying that you all have just really angry, pissed off bacteria. very happy bacteria. And those are the bacteria that are producing serotonin. They're making digestive enzymes. They are fighting off bad guys. There's a lot that they do, but there's also bad ones. And then the purple little swirls are kind of my representation of undigested food. A lot of times we're eating food, it's not getting broken down all the way. We over-process, we cook, we do a lot of things to our food. That makes it a little more unnatural. So we have unbroken down food there. And then you have those little like finger-looking things at the top. Those are like your little villi, and then above those are mucus. And this, I know I love that word, mucus, but the mucus is what's protecting the cells. It's like a protective shield against those little villi. In between the two are what are called normal tight junctions. They're what connect your gut lining from going like this together. And they're what decides what comes into your bloodstream, because you have to have vitamins and minerals in your bloodstream, because your bloodstream is going to move them all throughout your body. It's going to say, I need more B12 here. I need vitamin C here. And so it's going to actually suck it down into your blood, all of the different vitamins and minerals, that it's kind of like a vampire sucking it out of your food into your bloodstream, okay? But that's really important in order for you to actually get the nutrition that you need out of your food. What can happen is you have, this is called, so that was called selective permeability. What you see on the screen is called hyperpermeability, or most commonly known as leaky gut. And what we're finding is when you have a lot of antibiotics, cortisol, which is a stress hormone, a lot of Americans are stressed out, or you have artificial food, or you have, there's a lot of different things that can create these gaps in your gastrointestinal lining. But as you can see, it's also inflamed, right? So that inflammation, that's what makes you have like upset stomach, you feel sick, you might be gassy, bloaty, you just don't feel good after eating. It's because your gut lining can start to become inflamed. Your tight junctions are compromised. And guess what? Your body no longer decides what goes into your bloodstream. Hyperpermeability means your undigested food, your bad bacteria, all of that kind of stuff can get into your bloodstream, and that's where viruses and colds and things like that come into play. But say you have undigested food, which is the purple part. So say it is a watermelon, and it's not broken down into its, the carbohydrates aren't fully down into their simple sugars. Your body can't digest carbs, proteins, or fats. It can absorb cholesterol and simple sugars, and it can absorb amino acids. Your body has to break down your macros down into those. So what can happen is if they get into your bloodstream, your blood is going to create white blood cells. They're going to create an allergic response, right? They're going to attack it, create an immune response, and now you're allergic to watermelon, or you're allergic to chicken, or whatever the case may be. And that's why people wake up at 35, 45, 50 years old with a food allergy all of a sudden, or seasonal allergies all of a sudden that they've never had before. It's because their gut has been compromised. So this is
Wow.
telling the different parts of that into the bloodstream. So that is where our protocol comes in. We have 3 different steps in our protocol. We have repair. I usually pair with repair is prevent. A lot of people are like, I don't have a food allergy, or I don't have a compromised gut, or I don't have this. But we aren't just talking about reversing issues that you have right now. We're talking about preventing issues that you could have in the future. And that's where preventative medicine comes in. So repair or prevent, rebuild, and rebalance. So the first one is repair. And that's where our Repair Plus comes in. So I'll show you what it looks like. We have our whole protocol comes in this red box. Oh, somebody stole my probiotics.
Helen Karen has seen this box.
No, this is like my demo box, so. Okay, so this is this product. Okay, you're gonna have to forgive me 1 second. My computer says it's going to die. 1 second.
Hey, Judy, come here. Come on. They're teaching.
I didn't know you could do that.
They've been married 1 year. We've been married 40.
It's all about loving your gut and your husband, right?
Love everything.
Okay, sorry, I'm back. I just need to plug my computer in. So this is the Repair Plus. All of the supplements I'm going to talk about today are ingestible, meaning there's no capsules in them. And the reason that is I put a lot of people on programs. I mean, thousands of people on programs. And one of the things that was probably my number one complaint was people who had pill fatigue. Because one, you have people who are going from being sick and taking a lot of prescription medication and then having to take a lot of supplements, a lot of dietary fiber, a lot of probiotics. Back then, you had to take more probiotics than I'm going to talk about today, just because technology just wasn't advanced enough at that time. And so I got a lot of people who were just pill fatigued. So all of these are easy to take. They are all formulated for an adult, but they're safe enough for kids. As long as you just half the dosage, they are safe for kids. And they're all safe for pregnancy and nursing. Okay, so Repair Plus, they all come in very convenient packaging. Most of us are on the go. And so we have everything's almost in like individual packaging, or we have containers that you can put it in for individual packaging. But this is a lemon lime flavored drink. You drink it every single morning. It's going to line your gut. It's going to repair the tight junctions. It's going to take down the inflammation, and it's going to rebuild your gut lining. So the first ingredient is the L-glutamine. That's pretty much what makes your gut go from here, right, leaky gut, to closed. It's going to repair those tight junctions. It's the most abundant amino acid in the human body. I forgot I have a time crunch, so I'm going to whiz through these really quick.
Okay. You're okay, Chanelle. We're gonna let you go, and if Dr. Copeland's okay, just continue going, and we're gonna record this and send it out. So we want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, great, thank you. So L-glutamine is the most abundant amino acid in the human body, but what we've found is we would put people on L-glutamine alone, and it would start to help, but there was nothing to take down the inflammation. There was nothing to fight the bad bacteria, all of those different things. And so when I say full spectrum, what I mean is that it doesn't just isolate one issue and just combat that. One of the things that I have found in formulating, I've probably formulated over 50 different supplements in my career. And one of the things that we have found is that isolating supplements doesn't work. You can't just take vitamin D alone, or you can't take calcium alone, for instance. In order to absorb calcium, you need vitamin D. There's a lot of pairing. When you look at food and you look at the way things come naturally, they're perfect. When you get an apple, what you need to digest it is in there. But man, we kind of come in things and we kind of mess everything up. We use genetically modified foods. We have really bad soil turnover rate, so our food isn't as mineralized, meaning it's an apple 50 years ago and an apple today are totally different. And so that's why supplements are so important. Is it's very difficult to get what we need out of food. Experts are saying that we need about 16 servings of fruits and vegetables every day in order to get what we need, which is pretty difficult, especially the people that I run into. So back to Repair Plus. So it is lemon lime flavored. It does taste herbal, so it kind of tastes like an herbal tea. I just mix it with ice water and you drink it right in the morning. You can taste a little bit of the anise seed and things like that. But what's really important and why we were okay with more, because all of our other supplements, I don't know if you guys have tried them, but they're really sweet. They taste really good. This is definitely the most herbal of them. It's still really good, but we weren't willing to compromise the product just for the taste. It still tastes good. It just doesn't taste like Kool-Aid, which is fine. So it has licorice root and anise seed. They're awesome. They help to increase that mucus. So like you had your little villi at the top, you have the mucus protection. That is going to help to keep that going, right? And it also helps the intestinal life of your the wall. Then we have our gut soothing complex that has peppermint leaf. Peppermint leaf is really great to help an upset stomach. So what's really cool is when you take this in the morning, the entire day that you're eating, you feel better. It's like your stomach is just being coated, and it has like this big protection so that when you eat, it doesn't like create that inflammation. This is also going to reduce flatulence. It's going to support that mucosal barrier, and then allow that slippery elm bark is going to help repair damage that has been done to the gut lining. And most of us aren't eating slippery elm bark. I mean, I don't know, you might be just taking a chunk off the slippery elm tree, but it's a little bit easier to supplement to take.
Better way to do it.
Yeah, better way to do it. Oh, hold on 1 second, so we're just ringing my doorbell.
What's she doing?
The doorbell.
Oh, doorbell? You had to make the doorbell stop. This is real life, folks.
That's
Real.
right. We're just happy to be here.
Isn't this interesting, though? Fascinating?
Well, yes, and what I'm realizing is that not necessarily one company has it all. We come from doTERRA land, and we are all about the essential oils and the lifelong vitality products. So this is great to have a focus on the gut.
Yep. You're back.
I am back. I have somebody who's coming and fixing something right now, and I didn't know that. So, hey, so you also have in here, you have acacia fiber. Acacia fiber is very easy on the gut. I picked 2 different fibers in our formulation because a lot of times what I found is we have a weight loss program, and you're required to at least get 3 vegetables on it. And it was funny because when we very first started, people were like, oh, I don't know what to do. I keep getting more gas, because their body wasn't used to breaking down broccoli or any of those little bit harder to break down vegetables. And so we included 2 different fibers in this mix in order to help people break down those hard to break down fibers. But then also this is a microbial detox, meaning this is going to help to detox everything in that gastrointestinal tract because they're soluble fiber. It's kind of like the old kitchen sponge, and I guess maybe somebody still uses it, but there's the green side, which is the scrubbing side. That's insoluble fiber. That helps to like scrub your colon, all of that kind of stuff. But soluble fiber is like the yellow side of the sponge, and it can absorb toxins and undigested food and all of that kind of stuff, and then it will just push it out. They're also great prebiotics, meaning they are the food for your probiotics. So this is going to feed all of that good bacteria in your gut and keep it thriving. You really always have to reconstitute your gut army. Citrus pectin, and then alpha-galactosidase is a digestive enzyme. It actually helps to break down Candida, which I'm very passionate about. I've seen a lot of people with Candida where it made them have memory fog. They suffered from infertility issues, things like that with having Candida, which is an overinfestation of yeast in the body. Men can get, I had one guy who he started to detox, and he was bald, and it came out of his head, and it was like, oh. And that's Candida coming out as you kill it, which is really cool. So you do go through a little bit of detox in the beginning, but trust me, with detox, we call it a healing crisis. It's as if your body is just like, it's killing all the bad bacteria, and those bad bacteria don't come out smiling or happy. So you might feel like you're going through caffeine or sugar withdrawals for a couple of days, but power through it because you will feel a million times better. Your skin will be better. You'll sleep better, all of those different things as you power through a detox. So that is our Repair Plus. I'm going to move on to our Calm Digestive Oil. We decided to include a digestive oil with this for immediate relief. We have found that with essential oils, because they work through your olfactory system, through smell, they're able to manipulate mood instantly. They get absorbed into the bloodstream instantly. And so this was really an easy pairing to our Repair Plus, so that if somebody gets upset stomach, or somebody gets motion sickness, or you just need additional help digesting food, that you're able to roll it on directly onto your stomach. You can roll it onto your forearms, onto the bottom of your feet. The reason I say forearms is there's some people who eat out and they don't necessarily want to rub it on their stomach in a restaurant. So just try to get it on your body. It's a really amazing blend. We have lavender, we have chamomile, anise. Our oil is put into a fractionated coconut oil, and we've worked with a very amazing aromatherapist who she started the very first aromatherapy school in South Africa. She's worked with a lot of other large essential oil companies in formulations, and she's definitely respected in this area. We did do a limited run of essential oils, just all blends, no singular oils, just really convenient. And we decided to bring back our digestive blend. It did really well. People loved it. I love it. A lot of people, if you don't know much about essential oils, lavender doesn't just help with one thing. There's a whole like cornucopia of things that helps with. And chamomile, and this is specifically for digestion, but with those other essential oils in there, what's awesome is you can use it for other purposes, whether it's helping you to relax. It has copaíba balsam and a lot of different oils in there. So I'm going to move on to the next product real quick. That's the protocol. Oh, they're there. Okay, part of the rebuild process is our digestive enzymes. I'm going to open this so I can show you what it looks like. What we're finding is a lot of us, we go out to eat, or we cook our food, or if you live in Utah, you might clean your food with fluorinated water, which kills your digestive enzymes, things like that. So this is our Digestive Oil Plus, and it comes like this. Oh, I don't know. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
I normally don't teach like this, so this is new. Sorry, one.
She's muted again. She's muted again.
Oh, I don't know what happened. Chanelle, you're muted. I don't know if you can hear me.
Just one sec. I think she had to go talk to her handyman.
Yes, thank you. Sorry. Okay, so that's the digestive enzymes. They are a full spectrum digestive aid. What's really cool about enzymes is they help you to break down your food. But so say you have a sugar molecule. One type of amylase will break it down in the middle. There will be another enzyme that will break it down on the side, another that will split it 3 other on this side. So it takes multiple enzymes to break down one molecule. And so with ours, we have like, I don't even know if you guys can like read this on here, but there are a ton of different enzymes in here in order to make sure that it's breaking down all of your food. The reason why that's so important is because I always say you are not what you eat, you are what you digest. Meaning that every cell of your body is what you are actually digesting, and it's getting broken down and it's being used to be your heart or your lungs or your brain or your skin or your eyes or everything, because every cell in your body dies. And over a 7-year period, every single cell in your body has died. So I always tell people it's never too late to get the body you want, because it's dying and being reborn all the time. So this is and they're chewable. So you just like, I probably shouldn't have a favorite flavor, but it's that one. That's really good. And they kind of taste like Smarties, chewing with every meal. I feel bad having a favorite because I feel like they're like my children and you're not supposed to have a favorite child. But I think secretly all parents have a favorite child. I've decided. Okay. So it's going to help. It's going to help with intestinal discomfort, gas, acid reflux. So if somebody's taking Tums or any of those kind of things, I tell them, take a digestive enzyme. That's what's going to help you. And they are chewable. However, like I said, they're all formulated for adults. So if you have a kid and they're under 100 pounds, they just chew half of it. Okay. Let's see if I can get this. I'm gonna skip those. All right, so this is kind of my, this is like my favorite part is I don't know, I think this is so fascinating. I'm actually, can you guys hear okay?
Yep.
I
Yeah.
think my dog's barking, I'm so sorry. Okay, so I wanna talk about our genes. So this is kind of a fun little game I usually play, is a mouse has 23,000 genes. Wheat has 26,000 genes. A worm has 20,500 genes. How many genes do you think the human has? Do, 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 do. We have 21,000. So we have less than a mouse.
Wow.
We have less than wheat. But what's really cool is we have 4.4 million bacteria genes.
Wow.
So even though your body is only 10% human genes and 90% microbial genes, I think this is one of the most important things that anybody will do in their health is probiotics. You have the opportunity to manipulate 90% of the human body through good bacteria. Probiotics are the perfect tool to combat metabolic syndrome. So metabolic syndrome is not just one disorder, right? It's a lot of different cardiovascular issues. It's high blood sugar, it's high blood pressure, high cholesterol, increased level of adipose tissue. So all of these cardiovascular issues can be supplemented with good probiotics. With bacteria. Right, I don't know what that is.
Uh-oh.
So heart health. And what's really cool is now doctors are starting to use probiotics to help with cardiovascular issues. A little bit about the microbiome. I love this. Probiotics help you fight your genetic destiny. If your mom is morbidly obese, guess what? You don't have to be, right? Just because your parents had something doesn't mean you have to have it. A lot of things we actually get through microbiome genetics, meaning you have the bacteria of your parents, right? You got your bacteria from your mother. And so I always tell people, like, if you want to give your kids any heirloom, like, you want good bacteria. So anybody who's pregnant, I always tell them the best gift you can give your kids is good bacteria, because it will decrease. So say a mother takes probiotics. There was a study done showing that if a mother took probiotics while pregnant, her child was 90% less likely to be obese, which is pretty.
Wow.
Yeah. So our genes, they play an important role in your entire health, from digestion to making sure you're happy, to fighting off disease and illness like rheumatism, like autism, like diabetes even, have all been linked to it. All right. Sorry, somebody just came in, I guess. So the next part is rebalance. And I don't have, because somebody stole my probiotics, so I'm going to just show you on the screen that little Pre-Plus Probiotics. That is our probiotic. It is 15 times more effective in colonization than any other probiotic on the market. I thought I had another, maybe I don't. Okay, so it's 15 times more effective. And the reason that is this is the technology I was talking about that has really revolutionized probiotics. Back when I first started formulating probiotics, you had to put them in an enteric coating. And the enteric coating would kind of act like a time-released capsule. But the problem with that is it's chemical. If it got broken down prematurely at all of your, not all of them, like you have about a 10% survivability rate of bacteria, but they die in stomach acid, they die in humidity, they die in oxygen. The manufacturing process of our probiotics is really fascinating. We culture them, we extract them, everything is in airtight, there's no oxygen. They're transported in a refrigerated truck where everything is humidity controlled. They're put into our manufacturing plant. It looks like a government building. You walk in and the doors open and close, and then the other one's open and close. Then you go through 3 different doors in order to get in there. Because these things, they just die so easily. So what we do is we have them, and they are microencapsulated, meaning that they are coated with a plant lipid. It actually comes from coconut. It's a coconut fat. However, because it's so little, even if you're allergic to coconut, it's still safe. But it coats them, and that way they survive not only not having to be refrigerated, but they survive your saliva, which is amylase. They survive your stomach acid because your fats don't get digested until, or broken down until later into your digestional tract. So then when that fat is broken down, it releases your probiotic, which is already alive and comes out kicking and screaming and fighting all of your bad bacteria and producing your serotonin and really fighting the good fight for you. So this is going to restore your healthy bacteria. We have 5 different types of strains in there, ranging from your bifidose to your lacto, but they are all natively found in the human gut, which is so important. When I hear people say, oh, I have this super strain and it survives everything, and it's not found in the human body. Well, it has to be found in the human body for it to be beneficial. Humans, you have different bacteria than dogs. Then that's one of the hiccups with mice. We have found that we actually have the bacteria that works for us doesn't work the same for mice and for different animals. So you actually need a bacteria that's native to the human gut. So this is going to restore that. So it's going to improve your metabolism. This is something that is really cool is with obesity. We are finding amazing results with obesity because when people have things like Candida, it craves off of sugar, and it keeps it in some bacteria actually pulls more sugar out of your food than not having that bacteria strain. They're finding certain bad bacteria that's directly linked to obesity. So probiotics, they really cover a myriad of issues from heart health to weight loss. So it really boosts your metabolism, helps you sleep. This probiotic is what's going to produce all of your 95% of your serotonin. That's what's going to make you happy and sleep and feel good and all of that. That is the power of probiotics. But not only do we have 5 different probiotics in there, we also have 2 prebiotics in there. And that's the food for your probiotic to eat on. So we are actually able to guarantee a minimum of 20 billion probiotics will arrive to your gut alive. There are actually 40 billion probiotics in every pixie stick, but we can guarantee over the lifespan of the product that a very minimum of 20 billion will arrive to your gut alive. So you're most likely getting quite a bit more than 20 billion. Right now, our last test showed that 38 billion arrived to the gut alive. So we test them every 3 months.
Wow.
And then the last product in our Love Your Gut protocol, and like we have all of in here, is Bliss. But I'm not going to cover anything with Bliss since you have Dr. Copeland, and he had a team of a chemist that discovered this adaptogen mist. And so I'm going to go ahead and let him take it from there.
Can you leave that on the screen, Chanelle, so we can see Bliss? I don't know if Dr. Copeland has a PowerPoint.
What we need to do is, I don't want Dr. Copeland to be at the end, so we're going to have Nona sign out. She'll sign back in, and we will break this into 2 webinars so that people can watch the Bliss webinar, or they can watch the Love Your Gut, or they can watch both. But I just want to keep these 2 webinars as 2 separate recordings so that we can send them out. Okay, so Nona, will you go ahead? I need to get the screen back. So Chanelle, if you could give me back the screen, then we want to thank you for that wonderful presentation. That was fascinating and informative.
That was great, Chanelle.
It was great. So now we're going to, Nona's going to exit out. The rest of us that can stay on.